something different. So, in the comments, I'm going to ask you a question every single video, and I want you to put your answer there. So, today's question is very easy. It's just simply, what's your favorite color? That's it. You can put any answer you want. I want to try to interact with all of them. I want to be a friend, I'm your homie. Anyway, let's get into business really quick, because this could be a long video, and I hate editing those. The Polar Express, one of the strangest movies ever. So if you're anything like me, being a senior in high school, you would know that when you were in elementary and middle school, you watched this movie almost every single year for indoor recess. It was either in the classroom or sitting in the very carpeted library, and they'd always roll out some movie you've never heard of, or The Polar Express. So I've probably seen it about 25 times, and I don't know what happens, every single time, because, you're in third grade. You're just sitting there talking to your friends, because you don't have phones yet, but now they do have phones. This is just a rant about, I wish I was young again. At its core, this could have been a really nice movie, because the plot itself is fine. For those of you that don't know, why are you here? But I'll go over it again really quick. Every December 24th, Christmas Eve, a magical train that only some people can see, because seeing is not believing. They hammer that point home a lot. But it takes kids who have in some way lost the Christmas spirit, and it takes them to the North Pole somehow. And there's, the track's like a roller coaster. I wish I was on that train, I ain't gonna lie. But it's February, and I want to go to Cedar Point. Anyway, it takes the kids to the North Pole, and they can then believe or not believe, and hijinks ensues, and then they go back home, and, Christmas. Woo! Yeah! Before I go on ragging about the movie, though, I'd like to give it a few compliments. Number one, North Pole. That looks kind of nice, doesn't it? It looks really festive, but, it's not, completely over the top, and it is, gigantic, because obviously there's going to be a lot of elves. I like how the buildings are to elf scale without being ridiculous. Yeah, the North Pole itself looks nice. And I also like the song that's prevalent throughout the movie, because it's not an overplayed Christmas song. You got to be listening to, every Christmas station 24/7 to try to hear that one. Very underplayed, and that's probably why I like it. Just a nice song, and the North Pole looks nice. That's all the compliments you're getting, though. But wait, Kenny, I hear you asking, because I can hear you talk. Why is this movie so poorly remembered? What is the reason? Well, there's three, actually. Number one, oh no, oh dear God, no. I don't know. Number two, no character has a name. There's two who have names, and one of them being this kid Billy, who's our Kenny McCormick. I like Kenny McCormick. Him and I got a lot in common. Both named Kenny, both blonde, both die all the time. And then Santa, because, we already know who Santa is. We know who Santa is. It's not, yeah. But every other character is named, Conductor, Know-It-All, Hero Boy. What? Is the point of the movie that, this kid could be anybody? Oh. But if it is, why'd you name the other one Billy? That's so stupid. Number three, and probably the most obvious one, is that Tom Hanks is everywhere. He's this guy, he's this guy, he's this guy, he's this guy. He is, over half of the main characters. The only thing that comes anywhere close to this is, George Lopez in Shark Boy and Lava Girl, where he was this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. But the thing is, Mr. Electricidad and Mr. Electricity was just the inverse of each other, so it makes sense that they were two characters. And then Tobar and the Ice Guardians are the literal definition of tertiary characters. Whereas Tom Hanks plays 4 main characters. Now you could argue that maybe Santa's not a main character, but I would say shut up, yes he is, because think about Elf for a minute. Santa's on screen for a fat 4 minutes total, maybe? And he's a main character because he's Santa in a Christmas movie. Of course he's a main character. Man, just why is this movie so weird? Nothing about it makes sense. Everything is just confusing and terrifying almost. I would like to present to you all the greatest theory in YouTube history. We've been watching the Polar Express wrong. This, I feel, is getting in the way. So, what do you mean by that, Kenny? Are you insane? No. Stop asking that. And 2, I'll explain. Like, this movie has some of the most intense scenes you'll ever see. And rather than telling you about them, I'd like to show you the main culprit. Because, again, I want it to be short. So anyway, I'm going to show you a clip from this movie. And I want you to watch it as the way it was, as you think intended. As a portion of A Christmas Story, not that one, that's made for kids. Please watch. Okay, great. Now, I want you to watch this scene again. I'm going to put it back up in a second. But I want you to watch this scene as though this was part of a thriller movie. This was part of a horror movie. And I want you to watch the scene again with that in mind. Like, forget that this is a kid's movie. Forget it's a Christmas movie. Forget that families watch it every year. I guess. I mean, in theory they do. But just watch it going and thinking, this is a horror movie. Yeah, pretty terrifying, isn't it? So, I'd like to go over the scene just a little bit. So, first of all, let's just go over what it is that we're seeing. 3 small children walking across very thin train tracks, about the length of just their feet together, over an abyss that is so deep you cannot see the bottom. And also, it's the North Pole, so it's probably icy. And if they fall, they die. So, that's nice. I'd also like to bring up the fact that there's that very small and quiet in the background Christmas music. That is a horror movie trope of just like you hear nothing but small, quiet bits of music. We haven't even gotten to the scariest part yet, but we now know that is horrifying, first of all. Second of all, going in thinking that it's a kid's movie, knowing it's a kid's movie, knowing it's a Christmas movie, all the things, you know they're not going to fall. You know this. I know it. You know it. This whole party knows it. But if you watch this scene not knowing what movie it's from, this is one of the most anxiety-filled scenes ever. And I haven't even gotten to the scariest part yet. Now, just look at this piece of the movie really quick, right here. Just this one single frame. In my opinion, that's one of the scariest things I've ever seen. Okay, why is that the scariest part of the movie to you, Kenny? Well, if we saw earlier in this part, look at how how many open spaces there are. Why is the camera right there? Okay, so yeah, you got all these open areas, obviously, of course. Anyone else think it's kind of weird that the camera is right in a spot where, it could be a big enough cave opening for them to maybe like leave through or even enter through, or someone else to enter through? Genuinely, this scene right here makes it look like they're being watched. And somehow, even scarier than them being watched is the fact that because they're in the North Pole, we don't know what that thing could be. It could be like, the ghost guardian for Hero Boy. It could be one of the elves who's like, I hope they make it across. It could be like an evil elf who's like, oh, I hope they fall. But the scary, we don't know. And just that angle is like just someone is there just watching these small children potentially fall to their doom. That is utterly terrifying to me. Now you may be thinking, gosh, Kenny is spending a long time focused on this one scene in the movie. And really, I don't need to go any further, I think. The theory is very simple, and I'm going to explain that right now. Remember earlier how I said if you didn't know going in, watching that scene, then it's terrifying? That's my theory. I have the theory that if you find somebody, or you yourself could, it wouldn't be as fun, but you could. If you have some way to access watching this movie, like whether that be you own it, you have some streaming service with it. I don't really know which streaming services it's on because I never really searched for it because I don't want to watch it. But if you have any access to that movie, either watch it yourself or with someone who's never seen it or doesn't know what to expect. I genuinely believe if you go in not thinking it's a kids movie, not thinking it's a Christmas movie, not thinking it's a family-friendly adventure, I genuinely think you will think it's a horror movie. And the theory is as simple as that. And the best part is, this is a theory that can be tested. Find somebody who's never seen the movie, tell them, hey, we're going to watch a horror movie tonight, and then you show them that. I believe they'll be scared by it. I genuinely believe that if you don't know what's going to happen in that movie, and you don't know it's a kid's movie, you will be scared. Wait, Kenny, I hear you saying again. Yeah, you're pretty loud, actually. The ending of the movie has our hero get the bell that he requested from Santa at the North Pole. It's a happy ending. Everything ended happy for everybody. What do you mean it's a horror movie? Now, pause for a second. I want you to think about a very famous horror movie called It. Very good one as well. I like that movie. So remember the scene at the beginning when Georgie sees It in the sewers and the two have that conversation, and you know it's going to get him in some way, but if you've never read the book, or you don't know, like, you haven't seen the scene before, or you haven't heard about it before, you don't know what's going to happen. And that's the scarier part, is you thinking, I know what's going to happen, but I don't know what. And then when he bites his arm off, sorry, spoilers, it's like, oh, that was terrifying. That was a good build-up. The build-up is the scarier part to me. You ever noticed in, like, TV shows and movies, like, say, iCarly, for example, when there's the episode where Carly got the new room, and they were talking about, like, hey, at least it's better than that goat at the petting zoo, am I right? And every character's like, well, what did the goat do? And then nobody answers. You're left wondering, what did that goat do? And you never find out. So only in your imagination will you know what happens. I believe that same effect is what's going to happen here. If nothing happens and you're just waiting, that's going to be so terrifying for you. Because, at the end of the movie, when everything ends all happy, you're probably going to be like, oh, okay, so maybe it was a kid's movie, something like that. But that suspense of you waiting that however long this movie is, just that feeling from the beginning of it, where you don't know what he's going to do to Georgie, just imagine that for the entire runtime. That could be the best horror film ever. Okay, hopefully I didn't waste too much of your time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, comment your favorite color down below. And also, if you want to test out this theory with maybe like one of your relatives or friends, whatever, tell me how it goes down below, because I genuinely want to know if I'm right about this. Also, thanks to Thief for that artwork. It looks just like me. It looks just like me. So thank you for that. Please subscribe, please like, share, do whatever you want. I don't really care. Love you guys. Mwah. Mwah.